Well, hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe. Thanks for tuning in to Rosenfield 10, where I cover our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. And today we're going to preview the Week 8 matchup that's going to see our NFC South divisional rival, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming to town to the Caesars Superdome to take on our beloved Bless You Boys in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. The Buccaneers are 5-2. They're one of the favorites. The best records in the conference right now are 5-2, and Tampa Bay's sitting up there. We're 1-6. I think right now we're a 4.5 point underdog. So we're going to take a look at the Saints offense and talk about everything that's happened and talk about the injuries, and we'll talk about the Bucs as well. So here's the Saints offense. The big news is after the game last week, we've put running back Kendre Miller on IR, and we've placed center Eric McCoy on IR. Both Miller and McCoy are done for the year. Last year, the Saints struggled mightily without center Eric McCoy. We've got backup center Luke Fortner, who has starting experience in this league. He played with the Titans. Yeah. So we've got two free roster spots now. What are we going to do with them? Well, we've elevated Velus Jones from the practice squad, signed him to the active roster. That takes care of one roster move. And that's all you're going to see on offense. The other addition was on defense. We'll talk about that when we pull up the defense. Let's talk about everything going on at practice with the injuries. Yesterday on Wednesday, Chris Olave did not participate with an ankle, and Juwan Johnson was limited with a neck. Alvin Kamara was limited with an ankle. So Chris Olave not participating in practice because of an ankle on Wednesday. On Thursday's injury report, Chris Olave is listed as limited. So Chris Olave practiced. The only person that didn't practice, at least in a limited capacity, was Davin Gotchaw on defense for his normal rest day. So looks like we're going to be okay. Jawan's still limited, but he was there. Alvin Kamara's still limited, but he practiced. Kamara's been bothered with an ankle for weeks now. Juwan Johnson's new injury is a neck, but he's been limited the last 2 days. And like I said, Chris Olave with the ankle didn't participate yesterday, participates today on a limited fashion. Everyone says Chris Olave is going to play in the game. So it looks like the Saints will be completely healthy for the game. That's pretty good stuff at this point in the season for the Saints. Anything else to add on offense? No, we're going to start Luke Fortner at center, and we didn't bother to get a backup piece. We were pretty heavy on the offensive line with 10 players to begin with. And I guess they feel like they'll be fine. If something happens to Fortner, they'll put in Torricelli Simpkins. And if something happens to Simpkins, they'll just slide Ruiz over to center and cover Ruiz's spot with either Dylan Reduns or Xavier Truss. It'll be Reduns, of course, but Xavier Truss can play tackling guard too. So for right now, the Saints are fine not bringing in another offensive lineman. We're going to go with Fortner or Simpkins or Ruiz at center. And we're going to start it off with Fortner and see what happens. Other than that, everything is the same on offense. Rattler's going to start. And yeah, we're still hoping Devon Vele at wide receiver actually makes an impact. Okay, that's your offense. Let's take a look at the defense and talk about the injury concerns there for the Saints. And like I said, everyone participated, at least on a limited basis, so we're looking good. Chase Young didn't participate on Wednesday because of an illness, but he was a full participant Thursday, so I guess he got over his cold. I already mentioned Davin Godchall not participating. That's a normal rest day. Nothing wrong with him at all physically. And Alante Taylor, who did not participate Wednesday because of personal matters, was a full participant today. There's a lot of talk about who the Saints might trade. Alante Taylor's name got brought up. Then he didn't practice Wednesday for personal reasons, and some people tried to make a deal out of that. But no, he's at practice again. So no issues on the defense as far as injuries go. The second roster spot that was available to fill has been given to defensive tackle John Ridgeway. He was finished with his 3 week practice window, and something was going to have to be done with Ridgeway. And I was talking about this a month ago. You were going to have to get rid of a player, make a spot on the active roster to bring Ridgeway up. Otherwise, he would be on IR the rest of the year. Or you would just cut him and sign him to the practice squad or whatever. But I guess, fortunately, injuries are not a good thing, but you do get a roster spot available, and that's where we spent it. Not on a center, but on a third defensive tackle, John Ridgeway, now on the active roster once again. Isaac Yiadom was one of those that we thought was, a possible IR candidate. We're pretty loaded at the cornerback spot right now, 7 of them, with Davis in the mix. But Yiadom never got placed on IR. Yiadom got over his hamstring injury, and yeah, Yiadom's not even mentioned on the injury report at all. So this is the first week where we could see Isaac Yiadom taking some snaps outside at cornerback. We know, we know Quincy Riley got his shot because Yiadom was hurt. Quincy Riley's played well. We all want Quincy Riley to keep playing, but you're going to probably see Yiadom. I don't know if he'll start. The coach acted like Riley's doing a good job, and it'll be interesting to see what percentage of the snaps Riley gets as a starter now that Yiadom is fully healthy. Other than that, there's nothing else to mention about the defense except that they can't stop the run, and it's been pretty much an epic fail all year long. There you go. That's the defense. You're caught up on the roster changes. You're caught up on the injury report. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have an injury report that's so long, you have to scroll and scroll and scroll. So remember, none of the Saints players missed practice today. None of them. You got players on IR. Every team does. Let's talk about Tampa Bay's injuries. I did not participate that is of interest to the Saints. Linebacker Levante David. This is yesterday. Linebacker Levante David, who we all know and hate, and wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. Now, if the Saints could get Tampa Bay without Levante David and Emeka Egbuka, that would be pretty good. But no, don't hold your breath. Levante David was limited today in practice, as was wide receiver Emeka Egbuka. So, sounds like those two guys are going to play. Another player of interest was Baker Mayfield, who was limited on Wednesday with a knee. And God, wouldn't that be nice? Teddy Bridgewater's already ruled out, so I don't know who would be playing. Who would be playing quarterback if Baker Mayfield wasn't playing? But Mayfield was a limited participant. Pardon me, a full participant in practice today with that knee. So Baker Mayfield came out in public and said the Saints are a dirty team and he hates them. And yeah, he would probably play even if he was injured. Antoine Winfield Jr., the great safety, has a toe injury. He did not participate on Wednesday, but he was a limited participant today. I don't think Winfield's going to miss this game either. So, Tampa Bay's banged up, but they're going to try to play. Now, the guys that have already been ruled out that are normal pains in the neck for the Saints, wide receiver Chris Godwin Jr., he has a fibula injury. He did not participate today. He's already been ruled out. And stud running back Bucky Irving, who I wanted the Saints to draft last year in the fourth round. Tampa Bay gets him. He looks great, of course. But he's already been ruled out as well. Bucky has a foot injury and a shoulder injury, and of course did not practice today. Hassan Reddick on their defense. Great outside linebacker, pretty productive for his, elder statesman age. He has an ankle and knee injury. He did not participate this week in practice, and Reddick, I believe, has been officially ruled out as well. So we get Tampa Bay running around, kind of hobbling around. Mike Evans is already on IR. Yeah, temporary IR. So Mike Evans isn't on the injury report because he's on IR, but there's a chance he'll come back at the end of the season. We may see Mike Evans in the second game against the Bucs, but we're not going to see him this time. And their number two wide receiver, Chris Godwin's already ruled out. So you think you might have a chance. You've got Baker Mayfield with a bad knee. Bucky Irving, his number one running back, is out, and both his starting wide receivers are out. That sounds like the best case scenario for the Saints. If you can get Baker Mayfield hobbling around without his usual great targets. Now, I said Chris Godwin's their number two. Emeka Egbuka is probably their number two, but he's hobbling around too. So we'll see what happens. Maybe a lame Baker Mayfield can complete multiple passes to a lame Emeka Egbuka against our pass defense. Maybe. Maybe their backup running back, White, is it? Rashad White, maybe? Maybe he'll get it going like most backup running backs do against the Saints, and they won't miss Bucky Irving at all. It's possible. Maybe Tampa Bay's just a better team, even with those injuries. Their depth is better, and they've got better coaches, perhaps, and maybe this game isn't close at all. With all of these injuries known, Vegas still has the Bucs as a 4.5 point favorite in our stadium. So, do the 5-2 Buccaneers find a way to lose to the 1-6 Saints? I seriously doubt it. If I were going to pick a winner and I had to pick just one, I would pick the Bucs to be the winner in this game. Now, if the Saints were worth half their weight in effort, let's let's see some effort this week, is what I'm trying to say. Last week I didn't see any effort. None at all. And when you're 1-6, what's there to play for? Especially if you're gonna get paid no matter what. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Seriously doubt the Saints will find a way to win. If they do, it'll feel like it's moot anyway, since our season's pretty much over with. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to go ahead and pick a score for each. If the Saints win, if the Bucs win, but my gut instinct is that Tampa Bay wins regardless. Final score: Tampa Bay 37, the Saints 6. That's what I got. As bad off as Tampa Bay is right now with injuries, I don't see the Saints team doing anything. Yeah, we played bad on the road. We played bad in the dome too. I don't see us scoring touchdowns. I see us being the worst team in the league and losing to one of the best teams in the league by a lot. If it's not 37-6, maybe it'll be closer. Maybe it'll be more like Buccaneers 30, Saints 10. Maybe we find the end zone. There's two scores right there for you where the Bucs win. Not only win, embarrass us like they should, even if they are injured, like they should, because we're a 1-6 team. And if you are a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender like the Bucs, losing to the Saints would be embarrassing. Flat out embarrassing. You might not want to fly home to Tampa that night. Is there a chance the Saints win? I guess. There's a chance I'll win the lottery if I had enough money to buy a flipping ticket. So I guess there's always hope. Maybe Spencer Rattler doesn't take stupid chances. Maybe he protects the ball. Maybe some stuff opens up. Maybe we get the running game going, which opens up some deep. As I'm saying it, it sounds ridiculous. So, but maybe. Maybe Tampa does struggle because their starting wide receivers are out. Maybe they do struggle because their starting running backs out. Maybe they do struggle because we're at home and we're their divisional rival and we should know what the hell they're going to do and have a good plan for it. Maybe we win because Kellen Moore's a decent coach after all. He comes up with a good game plan. Brandon Staley comes up with a good game plan. And our players that lack talent actually can do what the plan is. And we catch a break. The air conditioner comes on in the dome right when the kick is going toward the goal, and it puts it right through the uprights for Blake Groupie. And we end up winning the game. Final score, Saints 20, Buccaneers 19. That would be that would be a miracle. And wouldn't you celebrate? Right. It's 19-17. 1 second left on the clock. Blake Groupie kicks the ball. It actually goes through the uprights, and we win. And they put the lights on in the locker room, and everyone's dancing because we won our second game, and the season's halfway over. That could happen. You let me know in the comments what you think. I'm Joe. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I always do videos about the Saints. It's not always pleasant. I don't expect a lot of pleasant from anybody covering this team when you have to watch the god awful product that we've been putting out there. But, then again, maybe Lady Luck will be on your side. Maybe the winds will blow a certain way. And maybe we'll talk about it next week. Until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who dat?